So we're going to start off with the smaller announcement of the two. And the first one here is that the Trump media company partnered up with CRO to make it a utility token of the Truth Social platform. So basically, this mutual agreement is going to mean that Trump Media will integrate CRO onto its Truth Social and Truth Plus platforms. In a pioneering initiative, the company will partner with Crypto.com to create an updated reward system and allow for users to actually use Crypto.com's digital wallet infrastructure, converting gems, earning participation in various activities across the platforms into CRO and other benefits. Crypto.com will provide the digital wallet infrastructure for that. And then this purchase agreement basically means that Trump Media is going to purchase $105 million worth of CRO, representing about 2% of the total CRO market cap as of this announcement, as of the time of this announcement, rather. And then Crypto.com will purchase $50 million in shares of common stock in Trump Media, both subject to a lockup period. And Trump Media will be securing its CRO with Crypto.com custody service. Okay. So Trump Media buying 2% of the total CRO market cap is definitely a bullish look for this altcoin, but not even close to the most bullish news that we saw today. And this one does require a little bit more fleshing out. So we're going to break all this down. We saw this announcement over here. So Yorkville Acquisition Corp, okay? Basically, this is a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company that is being acquired here by Trump Media. And they are basically going to be converting this into the Trump Media CRO. So Trump Media Group CRO strategy. So expected funding for the digital asset Treasury will consist of $1 billion worth of CRO, representing 19% of the total CRO market cap as of this announcement. $200 million in cash, $220 million cash in mandatory exercise warrants, with an additional $5 billion equity line of credit from an affiliate of Yorkville, which would make it the first and largest publicly traded CRO-specific company, as well as, once again, the largest digital asset treasury company to market cap ratio. Okay, so this is really interesting here. I know that we did see an announcement earlier the year that Crypto.com would be partnering up with Trump Media. So we're going to actually pull that up, and that is right over here. Oh, sorry, this is the most recent news. But basically, there was an announcement, I believe it was like back in February or March, that Crypto.com would be the custody provider for Trump Media ETFs. And these ETFs, one of them was an altcoin basket ETF, which would actually allocate 5% of the fund to CRO. This is a much bigger deal. This is basically Trump using a separate company to fund a completely CRO specific strategy. So only purchasing CRO and 20% of the total supply at that. Okay. Now, something else we do need to talk about is the lockups, because this is a really important thing to note. So in support of the long-term commitment to Trump Media Group CRO strategy, Yorkville, Trump Media, and Crypto.com have agreed to a 1-year initial lockup period on their shareholdings. The initial lockup period will be followed by an additional 3-year restrictive release schedule. Yeah, this is massive news, guys, okay? Definitely something we did have to get on here and talk about. Now, we actually saw Chris Marzalek post a really good thread about exactly what this means, so I'm going to break all this down, and then we are going to get into the price action to wrap up this video. So, according to the tweet here, a historic day for CRO. Trump Media and Trump Media Group CRO strategy announced a $6.42 billion U.S. Treasury plan. So a definitive agreement for a business combination with York, which is the special acquisition purpose company right over here. The special purpose acquisition company, rather, right over here. And they are going to establish it as this company over here. So MCGA, Make CRO Great Again. At completion, Trump Media CRO Strategy will be the world's largest holder of CRO with 6.3 billion CRO tokens, worth approximately $1 billion as of the time of this announcement. Okay, so right off the bat, they're basically buying $1 billion worth of CRO, and we can actually go and take a look at the current market cap of CRO, which I believe is sitting around the 6 billion mark, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at that. We'll have some coffee. 6.71 billion now, okay, with the pump that we have seen. So separately, Trump Media Technology Group acquired $105 million worth of CRO. Crypto.com bought $50 million worth of Trump Media Group DJT. So this brings the total CRO under the Trump Media Group umbrella to 7 billion tokens. CRO will become the platform token of Truth Social. Trump Media has 200 million more in cash to acquire more CRO. Let's just skip all this, Kate, because the big thing that we need to once again discuss here is the $5 billion line of credit from Yorkville to acquire even more CRO. So cumulatively, this will add up to an unprecedented amount of dry powder for any digital asset treasury company, exceeding the total market cap of CRO as of the time of the announcement. That is no longer the case because we did see this massive pump in price. But yeah, to put it into perspective, to reach a similar level of buying power and impact on Ethereum, leading ETH treasury companies would have to buy hundreds of $billion worth of ETH, okay? And if you actually take a look at Ethereum top company holdings, we can find this. Yeah, so Ethereum treasuries. We can see right here that BitMine, which is the largest U.S. holder, is holding $7.6 billion worth of ETH. And yeah, I mean, this holding right here at $5 billion down the low, it acquires forever, indefinitely, not selling it. That is the biggest thing to take note of right there, okay? And they talk about the lockups full bought by this company, according to this post, will not be sold. Okay, that is massive. So the mission of MCGA is to enhance shareholder value by maximizing the flywheel effect. So more funds raised, more CRO bought, prices appreciate, allowing for more funds to be raised, more CRO to be bought. You know the play. As a result of the flywheel, one should expect CRONOS to reach its full potential as the backbone of all financial services, including powering payments for AI agents. And yeah, it appears the market has responded very well to the news. Okay, so this is absolutely massive. We've been saying throughout the years, like if you guys have been with the channel for the past couple of years, we were talking about CRO at that 5 cent level as being a massive steal. We did publicly share that we were looking to add more CRO over there when we had saw this dip in the bear market. And yeah, just holding our position, because at the end of the day, CRO did this in the last cycle too, where it just kind of shuffled sideways. And then right near the tail end of the cycle, it just outperformed pretty much every major token, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, BNB, all these coins not cones, that were outperforming CRO at first. CRO then took the driver's seat. And yeah, it does look as if a very similar thing is going to be playing out here. So in terms of what I'm looking for next when it comes to CRO, and this is super important because you can see here that CRO has actually not closed a weekly candle above 20 cents since May of 2022, okay? And that was during the bear market year when everything was crashing. CRO has not been back above this level since. We saw here in November and December, when we saw the entire altcoin market ripping following the conclusion of the presidential election, that CRO did actually try to get above 20 cents. It came up to about 23.5 cents here, 23 cents here, but was unable to close a weekly candle above it, okay? As of right now, we see that CRO is above this 20-cent level on the weekly candle. I think given the momentum behind this announcement, I do think that it is going to close above 20 cents here on the week, if I had to guess. And that would basically mean that CRO is effectively making like 3-year highs in terms of its actual weekly close. I think that you combine this with the announcement that has been made this past week, and it looks like we have a very similar setup happening for CRO like we did in the last cycle, okay? And just a friendly reminder for those of you who either forgot or who were not around in the previous cycle, when we actually saw CRO break above 20 cents, which didn't happen until late October, worth noting. On that break above 20 cents, CRO rallied about 370% from that level before topping out at about 96 cents. So can CRO reach $1 this bull cycle? I think that is the question that everybody wants answered. And yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see. But as of right now, I remain bullish on this altcoin. I remain bullish on crypto.com. And this announcement today is probably the biggest announcement for CRO ever, if I'm being honest. It might just be the biggest announcement we've ever seen for this altcoin. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you did enjoy the content, please be sure to let me know. And yeah, as we do kind of see CRO steam up here, I will be trying to make more content, more regular content for you guys to keep you updated on the news, on the price action, as I do believe we are entering the tail end of this bull cycle as well. Okay, so we are obviously starting Wednesday. It is really late here, here in North America. I wanted to just still give you guys an update because the next few hours could be very critical for CRONOS based off of what the price has been able to do just over the last few hours. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that. The feedback on the last update was amazing. Again, if you want to see more of these updates, just smash that like button and do let me know in the comments down below that you are interested in more of these updates. So, CRO Coin, of course, major announcement coming out from Trump media. That was by far one of the biggest announcements, and it has caught me by surprise, and I'm sure a lot of people in the industry have also been surprised about this. But nonetheless, great for CRONOS holders. Obviously, it's up 40% right now. One of the top gainers in the crypto space, but in terms of the last 24 hours alone, it is winning by a big margin. But we're here to talk about what is important with the price right now, because a lot of key factors here to be paying attention to. So 22.45 cents right now is the price, up 40% in USD, 40% in Bitcoin, 35% in Ethereum comparative. Valuation $7.5 billion. But look at the 24-hour trading volume. That has gone up above $1 billion. So in our last update, we were sitting at about 600 million, and right now we're sitting at 1 billion plus. We have not seen this much volume coming into CRO for quite some time. So, when I pull out the charts, things will make more sense as to what I'm really referring to. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So first and foremost, let's talk about, my title. My last update was about, you could see 12 hours back, and I said CRONOS set to break out key level after 3 years. So pretty much this key level that I'm referring to, the last time the price of CRONOS was above this key level was 3 years ago. And the reason why this is so important is because once the price goes above this key range, we end the bear market cycle. And I know a lot of people are probably scratching their heads thinking, why is the price of CRONOS still in a bear market cycle? Believe it or not, it still is. A lot of coins are still in the bear market cycle. That comes to an end once we enter the 78.6, which we're going to come back to. But let's take a look at what's briefly happening with the broader market. So, that can give us a better understanding. If you're looking at the dominance index, it has been falling down quite sharply since August 25th. This is a great sign, of course, for altcoin holders. But at this point, CRONOS doesn't really care about the Bitcoin dominance because, the news itself is quite a bullish news. So the price itself is reacting to the more of the news right now rather than, BTC. But again, this is something we need to always keep in mind. Dominance still pulling down. It's a great sign. Looking at Bitcoin right now, did see a little bit of a bounce. You can see this for yourself. But as you can see, I highlighted this. We're still not nowhere near $115,000. That's pretty much a minimum where I would like to see the price of Bitcoin at. And we're not at that. So, the door is still open for us to retest lower time frames as far as Bitcoin is concerned. Now that we have that out of the way, let's take a look at CRONOS here. So what CRONOS has been able to do is we broke out and retested 23.5 cents. You can't make this up, guys. You can't make this up. We're not just making this up that, this is the very bullish thing. No, it definitely is, because we have not seen the price of CRONOS in this blue zone, which is the 78.6 since May of 2022. So we're talking about more than 3 years ago. And we came very close to that, obviously, late last year. We saw major parabolic price movements in the crypto space. A lot of coins had their run. CRONOS obviously reacted positively to the broader market. And you can see this for yourself. We retested this exact same price point 2 different times at that 23.7 cents, right below the 78.6 neckline. Believe it or not, this zone is so important because in terms of a confirmation, maybe people that are sidelined, this could be that major confirmation. Once you enter this, I think you do see CRONOS really pushing quite fast, to the major key resistance at 31.5 cents. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. Like, I do expect some resistance to come in the way, but there's not much resistance is what I'm trying to get at. And this itself would obviously get a lot of people talking because it's retesting a level that we haven't seen for 3 years. But look what CRONOS was able to do. We retested right at the neckline of the 23.5 cents, and pretty much we have not yet retested a high that we haven't seen since, of course, the last 3 years. That changes if we break out of this key resistance at 23.5 cents. As of now, I'm not surprised that, we got rejected at that key range. That is a resistance. Obviously, you're going to see a little bit of a rejection, but with the way things are moving right now, with the way the volume is increasing, dominance pulling down even more, if Bitcoin sees a little bit of an uptick in the next few hours to come, I think we see this breakout. And I am targeting, for CRONOS, this 26.8 cents. So once we enter the 78.6, that itself is a move of about, from where we currently are, about a 20.4% increase from where we currently are. If you really understand what this recent announcement is, you'll understand how big of a deal this really is, of course, for CRONOS. But at the end of the day, got to take it one step at a time. But very, very exciting times, near for Chrono holders, because we're about to enter levels we haven't seen for 3 years plus. And that is going to trigger a lot of eyes. Look at the spike in the volume itself. Haven't seen this much volume kicking in. Let's actually zoom out and take a look. We actually have seen volume for the first time at this level since November. So we haven't obviously crossed the November levels, but we're getting very, very close to that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you want to see more of these updates, smash that like button, hit that red subscribe button, and we'll see you later. It's Crypto ZX, and peace out.